Ladies and gentlemen, g'day, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Economics Mate, and we are about to see the next tanks in this auction. Are you ready? Boom! Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Helsing. It is the AMX M4 49. We have the Hawk 30 or the Hawk Tour. You got the Object 260. Let us watch the Helsing absolutely get sold out within 30 seconds. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Watch it go, watch it burn. For 10,000 gold, you would suspect that this thing would absolutely 100% get sold out, because it's one of those OG broken tanks in the game that's no longer broken. It's still very good, it's just not broken like the Smasher and like the Annihilator. But here we go, the Object 260 for 15,000 gold. Is it worth 15,000 gold? Probably not. Definitely not. And yet people are buying this thing because it's on sale. Why? Ladies and gentlemen, please, for the love of God, don't spend $15,000, 15,000 gold on the Object 260. Just wait for this thing to be as cheap as possible, because it deserves to be as cheap as possible. Trust me when I say it, yeah. So, just wait. Just wait. Don't be one of those where you just basically spend, you buy the tank at its full price. Just wait for this thing to be as cheap as possible before purchasing it. Now, the Hawk 30, same thing. This is an interesting tank, to say the least. I obviously own this thing. It's basically a different light tank to an RU-251. It's essentially a premium RU-251. That's what it is. I'll go through this tank in a bit. Now, the 260 is an interesting tank in its own right. It does have combat stabilization, which is nice. It's got 267 mils of turret armor, which is not bad at all. 146 on the sides, 100 on the rear. It's got 136 mils on the front of the hull, which is nice. It's in a pike nose sort of position, but it has a huge lower plate that just basically screams at any tank, shoot me. Here is my weak spot. Shoot me. It's got its leg. Basically, it's got its mouth wide open saying, shoot me, and I shall receive. It came out wrong. Basically, you know what I mean. It's like, here we go, feed me your rounds. God, every time I say something, it makes it sound even worse. Let's not go there, okay? Let's not go there. You know exactly what I mean. It's basically, this is my weak point, just shoot me. It's so big, it's so massive. Seriously, I don't understand why it's so big. Let's quickly check on the Helsing, by the way. 81. Okay, well, it didn't sell out in 30 seconds. That's weird. I thought this thing was going to sell out so quickly. Anyway, going back to the spread the legs Object 260. It's got very nice DPM, actually. 3100 DPM, 7.7 second reload. 260 mils of AP pen. ABCR, pen. Heat pen is 312. Obviously, I'm running calibrated shells. You know it, and I'm running full provisions on this tank. 400 is your alpha. 500 is your HE. As you know, it's a 122mm gun, obviously. It's a 3.9 second aim time, 0.326 dispersion, so not bad. In terms of gun handling, the aim time could be better, so the accuracy is not bad, and the gun handling is pretty good for a Russian T10 tank. It's only got 6 degrees of gun depression though, so do keep that in mind if you are trying to get this thing hull down. But it does go 50 kilometers per hour as a top speed, and only 33 is your average speed limit, so, you know, it's not a bad tank at all. But for a T10 tank, you know, being average at best, I don't recommend purchasing this thing at 15,000 gold. Wait for this thing to be cheaper. Ladies and gentlemen, be patient. Be a man, or don't be a man. Anyway, the Hawk 30. This is an interesting thing. This is a premium RU-251, and people may argue that this is actually better than an RU-251, and you would expect that to be better than an RU-251, considering that it is a premium RU-251. It just happened to be called the Hawk 30, or the Hawk 30, whatever you want to call it. It is not the Hawk Tour, okay? No Hawk Tour comments on this video. I know for a fact, the last time I made a video calling out the Hawk 30, people were like, oh yeah, this guy's saying Hawk Tour. It's a dead meme, it's a stupid meme, and I don't want to hear it ever again. Going back to this thing, It's got no armor. 30 on the turret, 30 on the front, on the 20 on the sides, 20 on the rear. You got 45 mils on the front of the hull, 30 on the sides, 20 on the rear. You are going to be penned all day long. Your concealment values are very, very good. 55 while stationary, 55 while moving, 12 when you're firing, but you're stationary. You got 2100 DPM, 6.33 second aim reload. Sorry. You're doing 185 mils of AP pen, 255 on your heat, and 102 on your HE. These are not HE shells, they're called HEP shells, or high explosive plastic heads. Basically, they're Germany's version of HESH rounds, but in this case, they're cheap HESH rounds. So, in other words, run this tank with calibrated shells, because you want that extra pen on your heat, but you also want that extra pen on your high explosive. If I were actually to go into my garage and have a look at this Hawk Tour, for God's sake, I keep saying it, to look at this Hawk 30, where is this tank? There you are. There you are. Obviously, I haven't equipped this thing yet because I don't really play it. But here we are. If I were running this with calibrated shells, you get 200 mils of AP pen, 288 mils of heat pen, and you're getting 110 mils on your HEP rounds. So that is absolutely fantastic. That's a great bit of penetration for a light tank. That's a lot of pen for a light tank. It's enough to deal with tier 8 heavy tanks and even some tier 9 heavy tanks. So do keep that in mind. And that 110 HEP round pen is very, very nice because it means you can do 270 alpha per shot. You're doing 225 on your standard rounds though. 3.2 second aim time, very nice accuracy, 0.326 dispersion, very nice gun handling. So for a light tank, tier 8, pretty good. It's got 10 degrees gun depression. Not that it matters because it's got no armor. This is not a tank you go hold down to bounce shots, but rather you go hold down to snapshot, to beakaboom, and get back into cover, or to spot, basically. And key thing here, you go 70 kilometers per hour as top speed. The RU251, I believe, can go 80 kilometers per hour, so it is faster than this. But its average top speed for this is 41 kilometers per hour. So the RU251 is faster, but this is a pretty quick tank. And for 7,500 gold, it's not bad. I would recommend waiting for this thing to be cheaper first before you buy it. That would be my advice, but nonetheless, it's still a good buy. Now, the AMX M4 49. This is an interesting tank. You know why this is interesting? Because this was in the store for freaking dirt cheap. Literally a few days ago, I made a video where I said, guys, just buy this thing. Just buy this thing. And it had everything with it. And it was cheaper than what they're offering in this friggin' thing. Why? Wargaming. What are you doing? You're giving us offers for these tanks in the store that have way more things in them and are worth way more, and are worth way more so than what you're offering here in the auctions. It just doesn't make any economical sense. You can't sell a tank in the auction for a certain price and then expect people to pay that price, but at the same time, you have another offer in the store that is for the exact same tank, and yet, for some odd reason, is actually better. It's more well priced. How does that make any sense whatsoever? Now, as an economist, I can tell you it makes perfect sense. Why? Because it means that they can sort of lure you into thinking, okay, well, I don't want to spend the full price on this tank, and I don't want to wait for this thing to be cheaper because they might sell out before it's cheaper. Let me purchase the big bundle that's only slightly more expensive or just the same price, but it means I get a bunch more stuff with it. So it's a good marketing tactic by Wargaming, but at the same time, I don't condone it. Anyway, this is a good tank. 250 mils on the front of the turret is quite nice. You do have a weak point on the top, so do keep that in mind, that little hatch there. 120 on the sides, pretty good. 175 on the hull. This is basically a French Tiger 2, sorry. But you only have 55 mils on your side, so you will be HE'd with calibers that are pretty big. So keep that in mind. Okay, 2200 DPM, 8.1 second reload, 232 mils of AP pen, 263 on your APCR, 50 on your HE. Not bad pen values for a tier 8 heavy tank. You're doing 310 alpha. You're doing 350 on your HE, and you got a 4.7 second aim time, so accuracy is not the best, but the gun handling is pretty good at 0.335 dispersion with 10 degrees gun depression, which is very nice on a hill, and 40 kilometers per hour as your top speed. So pretty good, pretty good. Not amazing, but pretty good. Now the Helsing, this used to be one of the most broken tanks in the game at one point. Bushka is very famous for saying, or rather I should probably say Bushka's very famously said many years ago that the Dracula was the more broken tank and the Helsing wasn't. And yet, it is a known factor that the Helsing was actually the tank that was more broken than the Dracula at the time. This was basically a tank destroyer that had a heavy tank armor profile, that had tank destroyer levels of damage and penetration, and it had medium tank levels of speed. It was just absolutely insane. It really was. It had 80 mils in the front of the turret, but it was so troll that it felt like it had more. Okay? You had 60 mils in the front of the turret, but it was so well angled that you almost auto-bounced. So it really was ridiculous. I know the stats don't really show it, but trust me, this thing was an absolute menace when it first came out. And look how cool it looks. This was the Van Helsing. This came out when the Dracula came out. This was there because you were meant to kill the Dracula with the Van Helsing. When the Halloween event came out, you had a choice of these two tanks, the Helsing or the Dracula. Did you want to be the Lord of the Night, the Dark Lord of the Night, the Dracula, here to suck your blood? Or would you like to be Mr. Van Helsing, here to exterminate all Draculas? Hey, we are here to exterminate all the Draculas with our double-barreled shotguns. Yeehaw, my hearties. Well, it probably didn't sound like that, but you get what I'm trying to get at, right? You had a choice, and most people went for the Dracula for some reason rather than the Helsing. But you can almost guarantee that and I believe the Dracula is going to come out. Mark my words, it is going to come out in the auction. That is going to sell out way quicker than the Helsing did. So just keep that in mind. Now, in terms of the DPM, it's got 2600 DPM, basically almost 2700 DPM. It's got an 8.75 second reload for its entire clip. It's only got 2 shells in the clip, but it fires both shells in quick succession, so it's basically 0.25 seconds. Very quick succession. And each of those shells do 200 damage, so you're basically doing 400. So it's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. And you've got 170 mils of AP pen, which is not bad at all. 220 of APCR pen, not that good. Your premium rounds are not that good. You're not going to pen many things frontally at tier 8. Just FYI, you're going to have to go around the back, and that's what this tank could do back then. You got 3.8 second aim time, which is actually surprisingly good, and 0.31 second dispersion, so gun handling is actually pretty good. So not bad at all. 6 degrees gun depression means you can sort of work with the armor on this thing, but not entirely. And it goes, most importantly, 60 kilometers per hour as your top speed, but averaging around 38 kilometers per hour. So, yeah, this is the Helsing. This is the Helsing. There's a reason why this tank was very popular at one point, because of how broken it is. Especially after the video that Bushka made on this thing, people were starting to appreciate the Helsing a lot more than the Dracula. But I still think the Dracula is probably going to beat the Helsing in terms of how quick they sell out. That's just going to be my opinion. I think it's going to sell out like that. They're going to sell it for 10,000 gold. People are going to want the Helsing as much as anyone else. It's going to sell. It is going to sell. Just be wary of that. That would be my consensus. So, ladies and gentlemen, of these tanks, which ones would I recommend? Starting at number 1, of course, you have to go with the Helsing, because, come on, you're not going to get another opportunity to get the Helsing until another auction, so be wary of that. Next will be the Hawk 30, followed by the Object 260, and then the AMX M4 49. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, wait for all these tanks to be cheaper before you purchase them. That would be my advice. Just wait for them to be cheap, and when they're cheap, jump for joy. Go ahead. Go for gold. Because that is how this auction is supposed to be played. Don't freaking buy these tanks at full price. I've seen numbskulls buying these things at full price and selling out the auction within seconds, within minutes. Just wait for these things to be cheaper. Then you can go ahead and purchase whatever you want to purchase. That would be my advice. Ladies and gentlemen, look after yourselves, look after your friends and family. Peace in the Middle East, and as always, I'll catch you on the battlefield. Bye for now.